Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. We only have 2 days left in the month. I was planning on having Uncollected done sooner in the month. I apologize for not having them out quite yet. Um, but with these last 2 days left of the month and before the new calendar starts, I want to get these last two levels knocked out so that we can guarantee that we're looking at the uncollected calendar going forward and we can start pushing towards that Cavalier. It hasn't really been anything about difficulty that's held us back whatsoever. It's really just been work life and game balance, um, which is something that I talk about quite often. Uh, and I definitely will be addressing a lot when we start doing the Alliance series. Um, so here we're just going to stick with the same team that we've been running with. We've obviously been pushing up some champions. We've definitely got some more some better ones coming in. Uh, Still got a little bit of leveling left to do with the next event coming up, but at the same time, for this, I kind of just want to stick with what we've been doing. That way, we're pretty consistent on this, and then from there, as we get into the later stuff and start pushing towards Cavalier, that's when it's really going to make a difference that we're going to start changing champions up based off of who we need a little more precisely. So let's take a look at the nodes here real quick. Right off the bat, we have role reversal, which has been standard throughout all these levels. And then we have Bane. Bane is an interesting one. It's actually fairly easy to deal with. The things you need to remember, first off, get that be the first one to connect in the fight right off the bat. That is going to be your most important thing. If you can get the first hit in, you're already starting off with advantage. And then just watch the timer, and their health is going to be ticking away. Once that timer runs out, it's going to switch the Bane over to you. But if you immediately land a hit, then you can switch it back to them and keep it on them the whole time, which is going to make things a lot easier for us. um, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get to it. So we do not have any science champions, obviously, so we're not going to worry too much about the role reversal here. I think we're just going to go ahead and start off right off the bat, getting some charges up. Like I said, get that first hit in. You can see that Bane timer coming in. You're going to want to try and make sure that you're timing your combos a little better than I did there so you can take as little damage as possible. This is also one of those levels where if you can get somebody who has consistent unblockable specials or high easily high combos, anything that any way that you can get unblockable, those make it really nice because then you can consistently make sure that you're getting that timer off there so you don't take nearly as much damage. Obviously, we went ahead and took a bit there with Aegon. But that being said, that kind of demonstrates a little bit what you're dealing with there. As long as you can get it transferred back over to them, it's in your advantage. And just get those parries and get, time things just right with that stuff, and you can go far here. We're going to go ahead and take the lower down path here and shoot over from here. So we're going to skip over path A here. Don't like a couple of champions on there. We're going to go ahead and just slip over here to path B. I think we got some definite good options here to go ahead and take this one down. And honestly, of the paths here, if there is an easy path, this is probably going to be your easier one. And I just ignored role reversal. Okay, so not only did we mess up on that a little bit, but that definitely means we're going to have to watch out and make sure we take as much advantage of Bane as we can here. Okay. And there was the perfect example of how to take full advantage of Bane. Right as that combo or timer was about to expire, we transferred it immediately back over to her. And textbook. We did have that one brief moment there where we took a little bit of damage, but don't be afraid to have that happen. Just look for your opportunities, look for your openings, and get in there. And like I said, just watch that timer real close. Every time that timer is about to expire, you want to be looking at landing a hit. Like I said before this all started, if you can make sure that you're getting that first hit off right off the bat to start the fight, you're going to always be in a better position. But at the same time here, if you can just pummel them down, don't be afraid. Bane is actually one of the ones that, when it was first introduced, and I do believe that this level right here was the introduction to Bane. It was it was a little rough. A lot of people had to weren't quite for sure how to get that timing. But once you get that in place, Bane is not bad unless you screw up. We screwed up with Tiger, who's been our go-to on a lot of things. We honestly should have just taken Captain Marvel maybe right off the bat. I wasn't even paying attention. But go ahead and get our role reversal here. It's always one of those things that I don't know about you guys, but it's one of those things that is more frustrating to me than anything. Is those moments where you're fighting that champion that 99% of the time they suck, especially if you're trying to use them, or in most modes they're not the one that you ever worry about facing. Okay, and then you get into that one fight, that one time where you're like, this will be cake, this will be easy. I'm just gonna kick my way right straight through this. We won't have a single issue here. And then that mean tier champ wants to be the one to hand it to you. But, I've said it again. I've said it repeatedly, and I'm gonna say it again. Um, don't be afraid to use some potions. Don't be afraid to use some revives. If the match doesn't go the way it's supposed to, heal up, go back in, and do it again. So now, Archangel is probably going to be the only real difficult fight on this path. I'm going to take in Aegon because we do have the role reversal, and obviously he is my tank. But we may have been better, or we may be better off if we take in Colossus. Oh, we may be better off just to have the world handed to us there. Oh, I knew the bleed. Yeah, the bleed was gonna hurt. but we definitely hit him hard enough. We have the champions. We don't necessarily need to be reviving yet. I'm gonna go ahead and get everybody healthy again one time, and then we will just a little bit of rough gameplay there. It's when you get thrown off a little bit by a fight you weren't planning on. Sometimes then it can carry over into that next one. Okay, Bane timer, and got a little. Yeah, that one was close. Didn't get the Bane timer quite the way I wanted it to there, and then we tried to jump out there so we could avoid the Bane timer, and that triggered off the walking into the bleed there. Let's go ahead and just try and take Cap without healing up any. We do, got the role reversal. Tiger has definitely the unblockable specials there. Are great for the Bane here, even though we didn't get it done quite right there. The Bane isn't. The Bane timing can throw off a bit. Like I said, it was definitely an early on struggle. A little mistake can feel a lot bigger with that Bane timer. Wow, guys. Oh, shake it off. Come on. Let's get back into this. Let's get better. Let's stop letting champions that shouldn't be a problem be a problem. Oh. Okay, Cap. Hey. Okay, I mean, Cap apparently wanted me to have a chance to use that team revive and put everybody at an even keel again. So, um, he's gonna do his thing here and really work us hard. And we're gonna slip up too many times and make it easy for him. And unblockable for the win. So let's keep going, guys. I've told you before, I'm never going to hide my mistakes. I'm never going to pretend like I can play this perfect. Um, even with my champions, I'm going to make mistakes. But that's a reminder that even when you do, it's not a bad thing. Have the units ready, have the potions ready, have the revives ready, and continue on. Okay, so we have Black Panther here. Obviously, he's got a decent amount of bleed. We're wounded, but we are far from down. Okay. We obviously didn't take the role reversal this time because I was trying to make sure we can avoid the bleed, but at the same time, to be truthful with you, I knew with his low as his health was, pretty much any hit we took was going to be a problem. So let's go ahead and see if we can't finish Black Panther here. And worst case scenario, he gives us the opportunity to go ahead and get the revive done. Or that was a mix, somewhat on purpose, somewhat not. Definitely was not really shooting to revive, but at the same time, I figure worst case scenario, uh, we're going to go ahead and pump everybody back up, get everybody healthy here. All right, 3 more. We're obviously not going to put everybody at full health, but at the same time, this will put everybody to a solid moment there. And this is not a bad time to be looking at something like this here. Anyways, we do have piggy bank right now, so if we're gonna have to spend money on units, which guys, that is not necessary. You do not have to complete a content every time, instantly. Don't be afraid to go do some arena, do whatever. Spend a month building your units back up. Um, I'm willing to spend right now because this is my way of getting through all of this so that I can show it to you guys, and continue the series here. I don't want to delay because everything I delay rearranges the schedule that I'm trying to put together to get the content out to you guys. But if you run yourself out of units, if you run yourselves out of potions, if you run yourselves out of revives, because even if it's, or the other thing too is if sometimes if you are having an off day with you're not getting the combos that off right, you're letting people like Cap and Iron Fist that you normally wouldn't have a problem whatsoever getting through, hand it to you. Go play something else. Go play a different mode. Go or even take a break from the game and come back. And don't necessarily just grind through your units and your potions, and go ahead and just take a break. It's never a bad thing, but we can definitely get through all of this, and you know once we get through the Uncollected series and we can start the Cavalier series and the Thronebreaker series and the live streams, which are going to be starting this month, or the month of February, I should say. Um, I'll show you guys if it's a bad day, if it's just one of those off days where we can't do that content, we need to do a different thing. We'll we'll move over. We'll do battlegrounds. We'll do arena. We'll do whatever it is that gives me a chance to still do content and still work with you guys and still show you what's going on, but not always just do a unit spend, because I know well not everybody has the ability to spend on this game. Not everybody even if you do have the ability to spend on this game, most do not have an unlimited budget. Okay. Not that I'm saying that I do. Obviously, we are still a very small channel. There is no monetization going on here. This is all me doing the building here. Uh, so I still have plenty of bills to pay. That is where my money goes primarily. But that being said, you gotta spend some to make some. So this everything that I'm doing here is to build the channel and build the community and be able to go ahead and make sure that I can give these things to you guys. But I want you guys to be responsible about things as well. And I always am too. I make sure my bills are paid before I even worry about putting the extra money into the game, even when it's for the channel. So we'll have to jump over to war here in a few minutes. Obviously, the attack phase for the final war of the season just started, which is a great opportunity to talk about the growth challenge for the channel that we have going on right now. We are approaching that 100 member mark, which is when I said I would start a channel alliance. We still need around 30 members, I believe, or 30 subscribers, I should say. If we can get 20 of those subscribers within the next week, which will give me time to get the season completed and get season rewards onto this account, and then I'll start the new alliance, and I will start taking applications from people on who wants to first off, who wants to be in the alliance, and second off, try and find a group of people that are like-minded enough to all be shooting for the same common goals with whatever we do with the alliance. By that I mean we're going to be looking at who are we going to be alliance quest focused? Are we going to be a war? Are we going to be active in war on and off season? Do we want to look at putting together a growth alliance? Something for low level people to experience the game, experience the growth, a teacher alliance. Or do we want to look at trying to compete for, a little higher? Are we going to look at having everyone be at least uncollected so that everyone can put up battlegrounds points? Um, you know, uh, there's so much there to talk about, and we will be talking about every single bit of it in some upcoming series that I'm going to do. That's part of the reason for starting the alliance, is so that I can put out some perspective videos on running an alliance in Marvel Contest of Champions. It has definitely became a lot easier to do than it was when I started. running alliances or even when I started playing the game. Uh, that being said, it, I have watched countless other YouTubers that do Marvel Contest of Champions, and I don't know how many of them. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've ever seen a single YouTuber who was also at minimum an officer in an alliance, uh, let alone an alliance leader. They all shout out to their alliance leaders and their alliance uh, officers. The closest I ever seen, I think, would be Dork Diggity Dave. At one point in time, I believe he had 5 or 7 channel-based alliances for his community. But even on that, he maybe was an officer or leader of one of them, but I know he wasn't running 7 accounts at that time. But that's something I've done myself. Not run 7 accounts, but run alliances. The one I'm running right now is actually the 6th alliance that I've been an alliance leader in. Uh, so I have the perspective to talk about it. I know the struggles. And I think, in spite of the fact of the things that Kabam has done to make running an alliance easier, there are still a lot of things that you need to take into perspective and consideration as an officer and as a leader. And I've been in some bad alliances early on uh, with bad leadership, and I've worked with a lot of people over the years who came from alliances that had really bad leadership. And it can definitely affect a lot of things in the game. So I think for the community's better health, it's time that we talk about from the perspective of people who have been officers and leaders. Myself, having been both, and then I'm also going to reach out to some of my former officers and bring them in on the channel and have conversations about what the struggles are and how to build a good alliance that benefits all your members. But that is something we got coming up soon. Like I said, if we can hit enough subscribers now, we can get the alliance with this account started and kind of really get some things going. But we're going to do that no matter what. If we can do it this at the end of this season, it'll be timed perfectly. If not, we'll be doing it soon. So we got 2 fights left here. We're going to go ahead and take we're going to make sure that we only have the 2 fights left here by taking the path over here directly to Hood. We may have to revive up for Daredevil, but I don't expect either one of these fights, as long as we don't get caught too much by Bane, to be too much of a hindrance here. You know, I won't say this has been the worst run that we've done in this series. I think that was 5.2.3. Um, that one I made a lot more mistakes. But obviously this again hasn't been a clean run. Um, but I'm pushing time here. Um, Not that that is an excuse whatsoever. Like I said, we definitely want to get everything out of the way in time to. Okay, so that in time to get to the calendar is what I started to say. But again, there was just me making mistakes. Perry, guys, especially right off that first one, get the free um, timer on Bane there, and don't always worry about being too aggressive. You know, calm down, focus, play, and do the fight like that. That's what we meant to do. That's how we're supposed to do it. Get back to the basics. You know, you can't always be gung ho on these. Finished another round of Alliance Quest. Now let's finish this so that we can get back out there, help the Alliance do that, and then as soon as we get everybody out of Alliance Quest, uh, which we will have done quickly this evening. I got I'm building that group up really well, so we we can normally at least have someone to the boss within 12 to 16 hours of the start of Alliance Quest, uh, which gives us time to free people up so that they can work on other content. Okay. Which will mean that we will have time tonight um, when I get through with other things to be able to come home, finish that up, and then go find the collector. It's time. That's going to be a bigger fight. Um, there's a deal in the shop right now that I have available on this account that I don't have available on the main account that we are going to pick up to make sure that we have enough units to get through this. But we are going to be uncollected before that new calendar starts. And Daredevil is definitely not going to be what stops us. So, again, guys, I won't say it was perfect gameplay by any means. I wouldn't even, by any stretch of our imagination. We had some great fights in there. We had some good fights in there. We had some fights that were absolutely ridiculous and that I am almost ashamed of. But we got through another one. We got one level left. We're going to go ahead and get that out. Then I can get on to editing, and we will have the entire series out here shortly so that we can start pushing for Cavalier. I hope everybody else is pushing. Keep getting those titles, keep getting those progressions. Don't let Kabam discourage you, especially with the monthly quest getting changed the way it has. Um, go push those progressions. Eventually, you'll start getting champions to be able to get back to handling the content again, and you know that will make it a lot easier to go to continue dealing with whatever Kabam throws at us. So we'll see you back in the next video. I appreciate it if you go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button and join us next time. Until then, peace out.